Before we start, disclaimer, Oswin touched upon me not being a financial advisor. I would love to be someday, but I'm not. So if you go and buy a Bitcoin and something happens to that, then I'm not responsible. It's your, it's your mistake. Right. So I always tell one thing about Bitcoin and any cryptocurrency for that matter. You should always invest something that you can afford to lose. So that you go with that mindset, then it becomes a very stress-free experience for you. Right. The third point I wanted to talk about was, is it a Ponzi scheme? Is it a scam? I think probably towards the end of the session, you yourself can decide whether it's a scam or a Ponzi scheme. Right. Okay, so let's go through a bit of history with Bitcoin. Okay, this was founded by a guy named Satoshi Nakamoto. Right, he started this in 2009. Nobody knows who this person is, whether it's just one person or a group of people, nobody knows. He disappeared in 2012. Okay, the reason he started Bitcoin was back in 2009. If you recall, there was a subprime crisis in the US. A lot of jobs were lost. People lost their livelihoods, their houses. So it was pretty crazy, right? So at that time, he felt so, he felt so bad that banks were okay. Most of the banks didn't have any problem. It was the people who lost their money and livelihoods. So he felt that, why should we give the power of money to the banks? Why can't people have the power of money? Why can't we keep the money with ourselves? And why do we need a bank in the first place? Right. So that was the intent of him starting the Bitcoin. In fact, the image that you see on the right side, it's the first ever Bitcoin block that was mined, and he left a cryptic message there. I don't know if you can read it. It says 3rd of Jan 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. So there was a bailout from the government to save the banks, and this is when he started it. That was the initial idea of Bitcoin when it was born. The other thing he did when he started was he wanted Bitcoin to be a peer-to-peer transaction with no middleman, no banks involved. I send money from person A from my wallet to Oswin's wallet. It doesn't go through any banks. It goes through a concept called as blockchain, and no middleman. So he just wanted to cut off the entire middleman in the entire process, right? It started off as a currency at the beginning. But then today it's looked at as a completely different thing. Today, Bitcoin is seen as a digital gold. They look at Bitcoin as an asset class. A lot of governments, US, even in Australia, they look at Bitcoin as property. They don't consider Bitcoin as currency, right? Governments hate Bitcoin. Any government would hate Bitcoin because something that you can't control. You as a government, if there is something that you can't control, you obviously will hate it, right? But there is no way they can ban Bitcoin because it's a decentralized mechanism. You can be a miner, I can be a miner, I can be that network that runs the Bitcoin operations globally, right? So it's hard for any government to ban it, right? There are only 21 million Bitcoins in the world. The final set of Bitcoin will be mined in the year 2150. That would be the last Bitcoin that will be mined. And interestingly, 33% of the total supply has already been lost. People have lost their password. People have lost, their laptops have broken. Some people have lost their laptops. Over the last 10 years, a lot of Bitcoin is already lost. Okay, so almost 6 million Bitcoins are lost, which means the 21 million supply is reduced to 15 million supply, 16 million supply today. Okay. So one Bitcoin as of today is about $48,000. It has its own swings. I will show you the chart later, but it's about $48,000 as of this morning. One Bitcoin has 100 million Satoshis. Why I'm calling out that Satoshis is, a lot of people can't go buy one Bitcoin. It's too expensive, but you can always buy $1 worth of Bitcoin as well. You will get 0.00000001 Satoshi, right? So that's how you can make an entry into Bitcoin. Yeah. So broadly, this is the history. I didn't want to go through how blockchain works and stuff like that because it's too technical. Any questions on this?
So Nikhil,
Mhm.
that 0.0001 Bitcoin, what is that? Is that called Bitcoin dust?
Yeah. Well, when if Bitcoin is digital gold, then 0.0001 is like dust, right? So I call it dust. It's not termed as dust. It's called as satoshis. It's called as
It's
sats.
like what it sends to $1 or something. It's like the
Yeah.
breakup of
Correct.
the
Correct.
dollar.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
That's right. So it's like, yeah,
Maybe a spec.
Yeah. So one Bitcoin is made out of 100 satoshis, right? So $48,000 is one Bitcoin today. So if you want to dabble in and buy a Bitcoin for say 10,000 rupees, you will get 0.0000111 whatever satoshis.
Nikhil, just going back a bit to your lecture, you just said that about that if somebody loses his laptop or loses his computer, and so we lose the Bitcoin.
Yeah. So
what does
the
that mean?
way when Bitcoin was formed, right? Even today, you can store your Bitcoin on your computer. Okay. You can buy Bitcoin, you can store it on your computer. Store it in the sense you can store the password for that Bitcoin on your computer. The Bitcoin still remains on the blockchain, but you can store the password to that on your computer. Okay. So a lot of people lost that password in the last
If you
10
lose
years.
your password, that basically you should keep your password. Password.
Yeah. So look, for example, I've got this hardware wallet. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have my Bitcoin inside this. And when I've got Bitcoin, I've got my password to my Bitcoin in this. It's offline. So nobody can hack it. Okay. No one can hack
make
this.
a printout?
Sorry.
You can make a printout of it. I mean, just backup,
Yeah, you can. It's the private key is about 12 letter words, different words. Okay. Combination of 12 letters. So you can keep a printout at home. Some people do it this way. They billionaires who have Bitcoin, what they do, it's a 12 letter phrase. So what they do, half of it they keep it in one country, half of it they keep it in some other country. Multi-billionaires. That's one other practice that they have. Or you can have this hardware wallet. This hardware wallet gives you protection. You can carry this anywhere. You can put your entire wealth. For example, now I'm not sure if you read it. The issues that are going on with Taliban in Afghanistan. A lot of citizens who are tech savvy are moving all their money into this hardware wallet and fleeing the country. Okay, because banks have gone insolvent, right? Banks in a war-torn country, what happens to banks? Banks go insolvent. They are the first ones who run away, right? What happens to the money that you've kept in the bank? If the bank doesn't ceases to exist.
Let's say a backup, you could put it into a cloud, upload it to a cloud, this could get lost.
Yes, you can put it on cloud, but then the point is it can get hacked. The cloud can be hacked, right?
Oh, right. Okay, of course.
So it's on the internet, so it can get hacked. So that's why you always need to keep these passwords offline. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So yeah, that's how people lost Bitcoin. One guy apparently he lost his hard drive in the UK. He's been trying to fight with the council there. He wants to go to the garbage place to look for his hard drive. It's worth $400 million and he's still not got permission from the government.
I can help him, Nikhil.
And there's one more story. One guy in 2012, at that time Bitcoin was 25 cents or something. He didn't have money in his pocket. He wanted to buy a pizza. He spent 10,000 Bitcoins to buy a pizza. If he had that 10,000 today, it was $500 million. So it's a very popular story. You go online, it says Bitcoin pizza, you'll find that guy's story. Okay. So I'll move to the next slide. This is the world's top 10 cryptocurrencies. Okay. The current market cap of the overall cryptocurrencies is $2 trillion. Right? It's no more joke. It's no more retail-driven story. $2 trillion. How did this come up to $2 trillion? I will show you why that much money is there in this market. There are 10,000 coins. So any coin which is not a Bitcoin is called as altcoins. Okay, there are 10,000 coins, out of which 99% of them will go to zero. Right, 99% of the coins. There are so many rubbish coins. There's meme coins that are there in the market. All of them will go to zero. A lot of people today look at Dogecoin. Dogecoin has really picked up because Elon Musk likes Dogecoin, but Dogecoin as itself doesn't have any utility. I'll tell you why. The top two coins, if you really want to get your toes in Bitcoin in crypto, the top two coins is Ethereum and Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin has got a status of digital gold today. People look at Bitcoin as digital gold. Ethereum was it started in 2015. It started 5 years after Bitcoin was born. And the CEO, or I won't call it as a CEO, the founder of Ethereum, his name is Vitalik Buterin. He is well known. He's in the market, is in the real world. He gives interviews. He comes on television. So he's somebody who's there in the real world. This particular coin, it's considered as the internet of blockchain. Okay, so consider this coin as an app store. You have your mobile app store, right? You've got your Play Store and you've got your Apple App Store. So Ethereum is also like that. Okay, it's like an app store. So a lot of decentralized finance applications have been built on Ethereum. A lot of games that are coming up. A lot of NFT, non-fungible tokens. I will cover that part as well. A lot of video games where people can go play and earn money. All of such apps are being built on Ethereum. Okay, so that's why Ethereum is right now one of the hottest coin. At some point, it will flip Bitcoin. The market cap for Bitcoin is about $950 billion. It's close to $1 trillion, right? It is as big as an Apple's market cap. Ethereum is about $350 billion. And the utility with Ethereum is infinite. And I will show you some of the utilities of these currencies, and then you'll get a feel of what it is. Okay, so takeaways from this slide: $2 trillion market cap. 99% of the coins out, or not 10,000 coins that are there in the market, will go to zero. Out of those 99%, 40-50% of the coins are scams. Okay, and when people say cryptocurrency is a scam, they're not wrong, because majority of the coins that you see in the market are scams. So you got to be careful. You got to pick the ones which are doing well, which has a good track record, which has a good team. These are some of the projects or coins that you need to pick if you're getting into crypto. Right. So any questions? I can move on to the next slide.
Sorry, Nikhil, can I jump in there?
Sure.
With so you said like a lot of them fail. What did you say? 99% or something like that. What does it take to start a Bitcoin, and how does that process work?
That's a very good question, Nick. So starting a Bitcoin, starting a blockchain, okay, it is very, very. I would say it's a little tough. It's a little difficult. You need a proper team to do it. Starting a new coin, new token, you can create a token by, if you know how to do development, you can create a token within 1 hour. It just needs 1 hour for you to create a new token. Okay. And I'll tell you one story. There's this Indian guy. He created a token called Pump Coin. Okay. It's called as Pump Coin. He created it on Ethereum blockchain. So these are blockchains. So Bitcoin, Ethereum are all blockchains. Remember, Ethereum is like an app store. So how hard is it to build an app on an app store as a developer today, right? So many, you've got your mobile apps, like, your banking apps to your, so many apps that are there on your app store. It's easy to build an app on an app store, but it's difficult to build an app store itself. You get it? You get the difference?
Yeah.
So think of blockchain as an app store, and think of these apps as different coins with different utilities. Okay. So I'll give you an example of this guy who created Pump Coin. He's an Indian guy. He created this token. It took him 1 hour to create it. Okay. And he tweeted saying, this is a Pump Coin. This is a new coin. And he tweeted again saying, do not invest in this coin. People went mental. They invested the coin in that coin. They pumped it so much. From zero, it became $3 billion market cap within 1 day.
Jeez.
Okay. And this guy who created that Pump Coin had 95% of the token with him. So basically he had 95% of the token with him. Only 5% was in supply, which was bought by so many people. All he had to do is just dump that 95% of the token, take away $3 billion.
Jeez.
Okay. He didn't do it. He was a nice guy. He came out and he said, look, this is how the market is. You guys have to be careful. Scams all over. A lot of such coins come up, and there is like, rubbish coins, Godfather coin, this father coin, that father coin, it's like rubbish. And the interesting part is all of this is open source. All of the code that is required to build this is available on the internet. You can just copy, paste, and create your own coin. Okay. So that's how easy it is.
Right.
But then creating the blockchain is a little difficult. Okay. So
So we need professional help, is it?
Yeah. To create a blockchain is not easy. To create a blockchain, you need a community to be part of it. Okay.
What
so
is
for
the
example,
blockchain, Nikhil? What is blockchain?
Okay. I didn't want to get technical, but you've asked me a technical question.
Just
okay.
very,
I will try and explain what a blockchain is. In a simplest form.
Too,
It is not a hardcore technical form. It's a very simple form. Consider blockchain as a set of computers connected to each other. Okay.
Yep.
Are you familiar with general ledger? Are you all familiar with general ledger? General ledger is a book where you have debit and credit transactions. Okay. So if I have a business I'm running, so I've got a credit. If someone comes in and pays me something, I enter into that book. And if I give him a change, then I enter in that book. It's like a general ledger, right? It's a financial transaction ledger. So think of general ledger sitting at the center, master general ledger sitting at the center of a blockchain. Okay. And all these computers connected to each other. Okay. So all of these computers are sub-ledgers, a copy of that general ledger. Are you guys with me? So you've got general ledger, the master general ledger sitting at the center, and all computers are connected to this master general ledger, which are sub-general ledger. So now Nikhil sends money to Oswin. So what happens? As soon as I send my money to Oswin, the transaction that I've sent goes to all of these computers. Okay. One amongst this computer, which is the most powerful computer, goes and updates the main master general ledger. Okay. So that computer, which goes and updates the master general ledger, gets a Bitcoin in reward. Okay. And all these computers that I'm talking about are miners. Right. So this is a blockchain. So blockchain is a network of computers connected to each other. So if you want to create a blockchain, you need to create a network of computers. You need to have one computer here. You got to have someone else build his computer, and he needs to download your software, and he needs to connect to your network. So it's like an internet in itself. Okay. Building an app on that blockchain is very easy. Okay. So 99% of the tokens that you see out of the 10K are those apps. Okay. Is it clear, or did I make it very complicated?
Yeah. Listen, I think, hey, you use the term mining. Okay. Miners. What exactly is mining in this context?
So mining is, I spoke of these interconnected computers, right? Which has your general ledger, right? Each of the computer is a miner.
When you say mining, you mean mining for coal, for example. You're effectively.
So they call it as proof. They call this term as miner because that's how they figure, had this name in the white paper. But then essentially what they're doing is they are actually taking the transactions data. So person A sends money to person B, Bitcoin from 1 to 2 B. So basically copying the transaction onto their computer and updating the main blockchain or a master ledger. That's what these miners do. Okay. So, there's proof of work, there is proof of stake. So it gets a little complex. So I don't want to get there. But just to understand in simple terms, blockchain is a set of interconnected computers, essentially updating a general ledger, master general ledger. Okay. That's how your financial transactions come into play.
Sorry, Nikhil, can you hear me? It's Vijay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was just going to say, is there one blockchain per coin or is there multiple blockchains?
I would put it this way. There is one blockchain for multiple coins. Similarly, we've got in this 10,000 odd coins that I'm talking about. I think there are at least 50 to 100 blockchains. Okay. For example, Ethereum is a blockchain, and there are probably 5,000-6,000 different coins on Ethereum. Okay. And then there is, for example, Solana is another, Cardano is another blockchain. There are another, maybe 1,000, 2,000 utility tokens on that blockchain or coins on that blockchain. It's like you can create your own coin. So for example, I'll give you an example. So there is one project called shopping.io. Okay. So what this project does is they have integrated Amazon and eBay. What they've done, they've integrated Amazon and eBay for you to buy stuff through cryptocurrency. That's all it does. So I can send my Bitcoin to using this service, and it will go and it'll let me purchase a phone or whatever I want to purchase, but I can purchase through Bitcoin. Today it's not there, right? So today I can't go to Amazon and give Bitcoin to purchase, right? So that is one project. It's built on Ethereum blockchain. Okay, and that has its own coin. It's called SPI token. Okay, there are games. There are video games, which I will talk about later. Those video games have their own token. They're also built on Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum is like the internet, and all these coins are apps on top of it. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right. I know. It gets a little. It gets a little. Too much to consume on the first session, but if things are going above your head, it's okay. I will try and make it simpler as possible. This slide, remember there are only two tokens, Bitcoin and Ethereum. All other tokens are there. Some of them are good. I'm not taking anything away from those tokens or those projects. Top 10 projects usually are okay. But the bottom line is the remaining 99% of the tokens are mostly scams and fail to exist after 4-5 years. So just be a little careful about it.
Cool.
Nikhil, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So you spoke of Ethereum and how there are multiple coins making up Ethereum, right? How come it's so volatile then? Because I would have thought that as the number of coins increases, the volatility would have decreased. But it seems as though, especially like with Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's quite volatile, which is probably like one of the big negatives as to why.
I'll get to that. So look, when you talk about volatility, right? It's trading. So you're talking about trading. You're talking about day trading. You're talking about buying and selling, right? So Ethereum itself is a coin. Okay, consider that Ethereum is a company, and that coin is a share of that company.
Yeah.
Okay. Similarly, a lot of projects that are built on Ethereum Ethereum doesn't have any stake in those companies.
Okay. Right.
They are independent. Ethereum doesn't have any stake on any other company, any other projects. They're all independent.
Mm.
It's like Ethereum is like an internet or an app store, right? In App Store, there are so many apps that come and sit on App Store. Apple doesn't own any of those apps. Apple doesn't own Combank app. It doesn't own, your electricity, whatever, so many game apps. Apple doesn't own it, right? Apple, it's sitting on Apple. So consider Apple as a stock, as a company which has its stock. The apps have its own stocks.
Yeah. So in that analogy, Apple isn't that volatile though. Like the price of
I'll
Apple
get to the
is pretty-
volatility part. So now you got the concept that these are all different coins and traded differently, traded independently,
Cool.
right?
Yeah,
All of these are
gotcha.
traded on the market independently today.
Yeah.
Sometimes against each other as well. So you can have a coin like Solana trading against Ethereum. So different pairs of trading as well. Okay. So the question around volatility, I will get to it. I've got a here. I got to explain you how the life cycle of Bitcoin is, and then I'll get to the actual volatility question. But you got the understanding that these are all independent coins traded independently, right? So then no stake. Awesome. There's no stake between the two. Sorry, I'm looking away from the camera because the screen is here.
That's all good.
Nikhil, just a quick question, mate. When you went through some of those, slides, you started using terms like coins and tokens. Yeah. Is there any difference, or is it one of the same? Like, for example, like they're the same, are they?
Yeah, they're the same.
Okay.
I sometimes use the term coin, sometimes I use the token. It depends. They're the same.
Okay, cool.
All right, so this is Bitcoin's price history. If you are not suffering from anxiety, depression, then you should get into Bitcoin. Surely will give you all the problems in the world. Okay, so this
what
is...
if you're not very rich?
Sorry?
What if you're not very rich?
Well, I always felt one thing. Okay, it's Bitcoin. Look at this chart. Okay, it's very, very interesting, and it's important that we learn a lot from the history, right? So look at the Bitcoin's history. So it started in 2009. The first ever pump for Bitcoin was 2013. It went from $10 to $1,256 in a span of 3 months. In a span of 3 months. Okay. And what happened after that? It crashed back to $150, 87% correction. Right? Why did it crash? There was there's a term called FUD. It's called fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Okay. So there was a China FUD. China said, hey, I'm going to ban Bitcoin. This is it. Bitcoin is dangerous. It's not for our people. I'm going to ban Bitcoin. Boom, crash. Okay. It crashed 87%. The person who had bought Bitcoin at 1256 sold it at 150. Right? You would have lost 87%. Then Bitcoin just did nothing. It just went sideways for years together. And suddenly there was a retail push. A lot of retail interest propped up. And in 2017, it went up to $19,756. Okay. What happened here? Again, China came and said, I'm going to ban Bitcoin. I'm going to close down all the exchanges. I'm going to close down all the miners. It crashed again. It crashed 84%. And again, it went sideways. Right. And in 2020, this is when something very different happened for Bitcoin. 2020, we had COVID. Suddenly there was a view in the market saying, hey, you know what? We should start looking at growth stocks. Okay. So suddenly NASDAQ took over. S&P 500 started, didn't have that much of pump, but NASDAQ, Apple's, Teslas of the world just went 10x. That's when gold also started jumping. And what was the next best thing? The digital gold, Bitcoin. right? So it remained at 3,000 in 2020. Last year, April, it came down to $3,000 Bitcoin, and then it slowly started climbing up. Okay, it went to $30,000, and that's when you got a lot of institutions buying in, and I'll get to that institution buying later. And then it started pumping. It went up to $65,000. And what happened? What do you think happened here? China came and said, hey, I'm going to ban Bitcoin. I'm going to kick out all the miners from China. It crashed. And of course, Mr. Musk was new to Bitcoin, Elon Musk. He came about and said Bitcoin consumes a lot of energy. So we will rethink about Bitcoin for Tesla. That plus the China news crashed Bitcoin again 56% this time. It went to 29K. It was just 2 months back. It went to 29K. What did I do? I bought more and it went to 29K. And now it is sitting at 48K. I had a close friend of mine. I rarely talk about Bitcoin or anything with my friends. I mean, this is the first session I'm conducting. I had one just 2 days ago with my family. They themselves didn't know that I was investing in Bitcoin for a long time. So my friend, one of a very close friend of mine, he told me, when Bitcoin was about 10,000, between 3,000 and 10,000, he told me Bitcoin is fool's money. Fool A tells, he thinks it's worth 5K. Fool B thinks it's worth 10K. This is rubbish. It's a pyramid scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme. I said, yeah, I mean, it is, it is, I can't go convert people. It's not my job to convert people. It's, if you don't believe in something, you should never invest in it. That's the bottom line, right? What happens? When Bitcoin touches 55K, the same guy goes and buys Bitcoin. The guy who told me that Bitcoin is Ponzi scheme, he was completely anti-Bitcoin, goes and buys Bitcoin at 55K. He doesn't tell me that he's buying. If he had told me, I would have told him that the market is overheated. Don't go all in. He goes all in on Bitcoin at 55K. The market crashes to 29K. What do you think he did? He sold it at 29K. Okay. The moral of the story is not about you timing the market. It's about spending time in the market. Okay. Nobody can time the market. Today, Bitcoin is 48K. Tomorrow, it can be 10K. Who knows? But spend time in the market. If you believe in an asset, it can be Bitcoin, it can be a Tesla, it can be Apple stock, or it can be a Microsoft stock, whatever. Okay. If you believe in it, and if you know why you got into it in the first place, then you need to stick on to that conviction. If you do not believe in it, never get into it. Never ever get into it. If you have 1% doubt, never ever get into it, because this is a roller coaster ride. It will test your emotions. It will make you go crazy, right? It will make you think that every single day when you get up and watch the news, it will make you think, oh, that's it. Bitcoin is done. It's going to zero. It's going to zero. It's going to zero. You're going to sell. You're going to sell at a loss because you don't believe in your own judgment, right? That's what happened to my friend. So it's something that I want to make it very clear. This is more of an educational thing, but if you don't believe in an asset, it can ruin your life. Okay. And one last important thing, not a single person in Bitcoin's history, not a single person who has held Bitcoin for more than 4 years has lost money. Not a single person.
Except your mate.
Yeah, but he sold it, right? If you held Bitcoin for more than 4 years, if you had bought Bitcoin, locked it away and just thrown it inside a cupboard and forgotten about it and not looked at any screens, any price action, nothing, today would be sitting as a millionaire. It's not about buying Bitcoin in 2012 makes you smart. It's about holding Bitcoin from 2012 to till date makes you smart.
Okay. Hey, Nikhil, let's move on, man.
Right.
It's almost
so next slide was stock to flow model. This is something that I wanted to talk about. This is a prediction model. There's a guy named, his pseudo name is Plan B. He came up with this model. He looked at gold. The way he has structured this model is supply versus demand. So the mining supply of gold versus what should be the price of gold at any given time. He came up with this model called stock to flow. And so far, Bitcoin has been able to match that till date. Okay. So according to this model, Bitcoin would be 100K between 2022 to 2024 or 2025. And then it will shot up to $1 million in 2026 to 28. Right. So that's a prediction. And it's so far it's gone, it's stuck to the model. It's a very popular model. It's a complex mathematical model that he has built, and he has tested this on gold as well. Okay, so lot of people.
That's pretty good, Nikhil. So are you saying if I buy Bitcoin, I could be a millionaire in 2020?
2030.
What is it?
2030. Yes.
Okay.
It will be, and my prediction is it'll be $500,000 by 2030.
Wow. So from 55 or whatever it is today,
yeah,
it will hit $1 million according to the stock to flow model for one Bitcoin. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is scary.
But remember, it won't be an easy ride. Okay. So today it is at $48,000. Maybe by January, it might touch 100K.
What, this year?
Yeah, the coming year. January, February, it might touch 100K and it will dump to 830K.
Also, it's a roller coaster, as you said, right?
Yeah.
But so over a period of time, over a period of 4 to 5 years, you're not going to lose effectively based on, the history of this coin. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So people will come and laugh at you saying, look, I told you Bitcoin is a scam when it is at 30. The same people will go and buy it at when it is $70,000, $80,000. Right. Anyway, so that was one. So I wanted to cover, this is an important thing. A lot of institutions have invested in Bitcoin. I want to go through this list. This has actually, this is the reason for Bitcoin to go up so high. Okay. The first one is Tesla. Tesla has invested, it has about $2 billion worth of Bitcoin on its balance sheet. Okay. Till date, they've not sold it. And Elon Musk, who's the second world's richest man, owns Bitcoin. He likes Bitcoin, he owns it. Okay. Square, I'm not sure how many of you have heard of this company. You must have heard PayPal. So Square is a competitor for PayPal. Square is owned by the guy who owns Twitter. So Jack Dorsey owns Square. Square, interestingly, it's not 2 billion. I think there's a typo there. Sorry. Square, interestingly, it's a payments company. It's a fintech, right? So I just read the news this morning that they are going to get into creating decentralized exchanges for cryptocurrencies. So that's going to be huge. Okay, Square is a pretty well-known company in the US. They are expanding. They have bought a company called Afterpay in Australia, and they're expanding at a rapid pace. MicroStrategy. Okay, this is a software company. I don't know, Oswin, if you remember, CBA used to have this software, MicroStrategy. They are the largest holder, publicly listed company, which holds close to $5 billion worth of Bitcoin on its balance sheet. Right? Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. These guys hold $30 billion worth of Bitcoin on there. The job, I mean, this company, a lot of institutions obviously don't want to buy Bitcoin and hold it. They don't want to, put it in a custody. They don't want to keep it like the way I showed you. They don't want to keep it in a hardware wallet. They don't want to get into all that headache, right? So Grayscale is a Bitcoin trust. So what these guys have done, these guys have gone and bought Bitcoin and they are selling stocks. They're selling securities for companies. It's like a bond. Like you see in gold bonds, right? You see bond, government holds the gold and gives you treasury bonds. This company holds Bitcoin and gives you bonds. Okay. Similarly, 34 publicly listed companies are holding Bitcoin. Moment of truth for Bitcoin was June this year. a very important milestone for Bitcoin happened June this year. That was El Salvador became the first country to make Bitcoin as a legal tender. Okay, El Salvador has a population of 6 million people. It's a small country. 30% of their GDP is through remittance. People outside the country move, send money to people in El Salvador. And I think a lot of money goes in transaction fees. Central banks take away a chunk of it. The local banks take away a chunk of it. So it's not reaching the people of El Salvador. The president of El Salvador is a dynamic 35-year-old guy. He got into the Bitcoin bandwagon and he said, you know what, I'm going to make Bitcoin as a legal tender. US dollar is a legal tender in this country. Their own currency is pretty much devalued. He made Bitcoin as a legal tender. And I think in 2 weeks from now, he's going to, and very interesting point, 70% of the people in this country don't have a bank account. 70% of them, they're unbanked. So now he's asked his entire countrymen to download the app. He's going to send $30 worth of Bitcoin to each one of them in the country. So you will have 6 million new people joining the Bitcoin world. Okay. So it's not compulsory. He has told the citizens saying it's not compulsory. If you want, you download the app and you can have $30 worth of Bitcoin in your app. So he's basically making his entire population bank.
Let's move on, Nikhil.
So a lot of banks are offering Bitcoin.
We've done this one, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
One second. There's some issue with my. It's pretty slow.
Matt, your computer must be mining Bitcoin. Just go to the next slide.
Yeah. This is the one I want to close off the slide with key points. I spoke of JP Morgan CEO saying Bitcoin is a scam and it's a Ponzi scheme. JP Morgan became the latest bank to offer Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies to its wealthiest customers. Okay.
Wow.
Goldman Sachs does it today. Citibank is planning to do it, and quite a few other banks are also doing it. So a lot of, when end of the day, wealthy customers, they want Bitcoin. They want crypto exposure to cryptocurrencies. They want 5% of their. I mean, the thumb rule today is have 3 to 5% of your overall, wealth in Bitcoin or Ethereum. So that's what a lot of wealthy people want. All right, so I want to get into the juicy bit, NFTs. What is an NFT? Has anyone heard of NFTs in this group? Non-fungible.
Yeah, non-fungible
tokens.
What's the T?
Tokens, yeah.
Tokens, yes.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example what NFT is. NFT can be an image, it can be an audio file, it can be a video file, it can be anything. The beauty of that is it is registered on the blockchain. Okay. And once it gets registered on the blockchain, no one can copy it. They can copy an image. That's not an issue. But the IP of that image remains with the person who has that registered under him. This is an image I want you to take a look at. Okay. How much do you think it went for?
10 billion.
No.
Less or more?
It was bought for $69 million. 69
what? Million.
It was bought by an Indian guy for $69 million.
Just this image?
Yep.
What is special about this image, Nikhil?
So the artist's name is Beeple. It is 100 days of his different art. So he's just combined it in one image. This went for $69 million. Okay. And it's till date, it's the second highest art ever sold. And it's the first, it's number one when it comes to digital art.
Can I ask a question, Nikhil?
Yeah.
What drives the price of these NFTs?
Demand.
What drives the demand like of that? I don't
Hype.
understand.
Hype. Look,
Okay.
when somebody buys a NFT for $69 million, what happens to the industry? Right? This dude who bought for $69 million, he's a 33-year-old guy from Chennai, India. He got into Bitcoin when he was 21 years old. He doesn't own a car. He doesn't own a house. 99% of his asset is still in cryptocurrencies. He bought this for $69 million.
What?
Yep. His pseudo name is Metacoven. You can go search. You'll find him online on YouTube. You can hear him speak. And this kind of started the new wave of NFTs in the market. Okay. This image, it's called CryptoPunk. Okay. This image was bought by Visa, MasterCard, Visa card. You must have heard Visa. Visa bought this image last week for $150K. Okay. You know what it did to this image? So these NFTs, for example, this CryptoPunk is a set of 10,000 different profile pictures. Okay. If you see anybody having a profile picture of CryptoPunk on Twitter, you know he's a millionaire.
Jeez.
Okay. So what happened after this guy bought it? Visa bought this just last week. The cheapest CryptoPunk right now on the market. I mean, right now, and as of this morning, there was zero. There was zero on sale. As of yesterday, the cheapest one, there was only one. It went for $500,000. Beauty of this. Half of the 10,000 images were given away as free in 2017.
Hello, Nikhil.
Yep.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
How they paid this?
How do they pay it?
Yeah.
They pay through Ethereum. They pay through cryptocurrency called Ethereum.
Through crypto. Okay.
Yeah. So this right now is the hottest thing that's happening in cryptocurrency today. I'll give you my own example. This stupid looking lion. I bought this for $100. I bought this for $100 about 2 weeks back. Right now, I've got an offer on the table for $3,000. I'm not even making it up. Okay. I bought it. I probably would never sell it. I liked it. I thought I'm a Leo. I wanted to have a lion. So I said, I just bought this.
So Nikhil,
how do I create one of these?
You can create it. It's just 10 minutes job to create it, but it's not about creating.
Yeah. What is it about?
It's about having a community, creating a community around you who would be interested in buying something like this. Okay. So the way it works is these are all called as profile pics. Okay. 10,000 of these are built and published on the market. All right. Before it goes into the secondary market, you got to go and pick these things even before it goes into the secondary market. That you can do by going, it's called something called as minting. You go mint for these images, you get it for like $100, $150. And once it is minted, basically, you look at minting as an IPO process, stock market IPO process, right? So the mint price is equal for everyone. 10,000 of these stupid image are available. You go there, use your Ethereum, buy it. And once you buy it, you just go on you go on to the secondary market. You can sell this for 2x or 3x times the price that you had paid for. Depends on the image, depends on the artist as well. So you got to pick the right one. Okay. So this is blowing up like never before. Nobody even thought that this is going to be so crazy. This morning I was telling you, Oswin, a few of my friends wanted to learn on NFTs. I had a 1 hour session with them. It turned out to be a 3 hour session. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to mint a new NFT called Al Capone in the morning. It is what, 0.06 Ethereum, which is about $150, $200. There was one this morning, 6,000 of them went in 6 minutes. Tomorrow, it's only 3,000 of them left. So I'm expecting it to go within 3 minutes. So it's pretty much fastest finger first. So the NFT world is just unbelievable. Okay, I can talk for hours together on NFT. There are a lot of opportunities in NFT, and it's a pretty cool way of spending, cryptocurrencies. Yeah. So someone had a question.
Mike, where do you buy it, and how do you buy it? The NFTs.
Where do I buy it? There's a site called OpenSea.io. I can, Oswin will be upset if I move away from this slide, but I can show you where to buy it. So it's not, it's about picking the right project, Bala. So there was one project called, go check it out, Bored Ape Yacht Club. Bored Ape Yacht Club. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I missed out on that. It was $1,000 on the secondary market, the cheapest one. So 10,000 of these stupid images were there of an ape. The cheapest one was $1,000, and I didn't buy it. And you know how much it is today? The cheapest one on the market? It's been just 2 weeks, by the way, $160,000. $160,000. It was just $1,000 investment a week ago could have got me $160,000. You know why? That particular artwork is going to Christie's. Christie's is considered to be the the top end art collectors auction house. So it's being auctioned in Christie's. So straight away, the price went 100x. Right. So you got to pick the right one. Anyway, so I will show you something else, which is even more crazier. Okay, this, if you think this is crazy, I'll show you something else. It's called Axie Infinity. It's a game. Okay. I'll take 2 minutes to explain this game to you so that you understand the economics behind it. So you go and buy these. These are all called as axes. So if you can see these characters here, these are all called as axes. Okay. This is my team, and this is the opposition team. It's essentially a card game. Okay. So you got to kill all 3 axes and you win. Right. So each team comprises of 3 axes. Okay. You can breed these axes and create more axes. Okay. Are you guys with me? So I've got team of 1, which is 3 axes. I can buy more. I can create, say, 2 teams, or I can create 10 teams of 30 axes. Right. So every day, if you play for 2 hours, and if you win 20 games, 2 hours is, you can play up to 20 games, you will get up to $50 a day. 50 USD per day. You can earn $50 per day. This game has taken Philippines by storm. A lot of people in Philippines have started playing this game. They are earning more money by playing this game than their regular jobs. But entry point to this game is expensive. Okay, so if you want to get 3 axes, you'll probably spend $3,000 to $4,000. So you know what people are doing now? They are buying, especially from Western countries, they are buying these axes, they're creating teams, and then they're outsourcing those teams to people in Philippines to play. And they're getting 50-50. 50% of the award won will go to them, 50% to the owner. Imagine you're sitting in India, Philippines, Pakistan, or wherever, and you like playing games. I get a scholarship. I have 0 investment, but I have an opportunity to earn 2,000 rupees a day. I'm playing this game for 2 hours. Okay, 0 investment. There is companies that are coming up in Australia. They're called as Axie Farms. They have 100 teams on their this thing. They're outsourcing 100 teams for people to play. If you go, there's something called a Discord. Discord is used for a lot of gaming. Kids use it. There is hundreds and thousands of people trying to get into this game, asking for scholarships.
Hey, Nikhil,
it's cryptocurrencies.
Let's move on, dude.
So there are games like Illuvium. This is coming up. This is another crazy, wild game where you can go and earn money, earn Ethereum. It's still not released. So it's, all of these are built on Ethereum, by the way. The token that I was talking about, the beginning.
Yeah.
All of these
Nikhil, I think a lot of people will probably have to leave at 4. So
yeah. So quickly,
this is just to give a flavor, right? We can have another session in a couple of weeks,
sure,
right?
Sure. So I will quickly give you an idea of how to buy cryptocurrencies, right? So you've got types of exchanges. You've got centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. So I'm not going to go into decentralized exchange because it'll just unnecessarily confuse you. Think of centralized exchange as your bank account. Okay. It'll be just like your bank account. You can just go and create a new bank account and move your dollars into that account and convert into whichever currency that you want. Sorry, my laptop is playing up again. Right. So in our top exchanges that are there in the world, one is Binance. It's owned by a Chinese company. The next one is Coinbase. Coinbase is owned by an American company. It's a publicly listed company, very safe. If you, Kraken is another exchange which is based in US, but it's available in Pakistan. Okay, sorry, I've got some trouble with my keeps looping back. Sorry, guys.
There you go. That's it.
Right. So this is how your app would look like. It's similar to your bank app. You can just transfer money into this app. If you can send rupees, you can send dollars, and you can just trade as well. You can buy and keep it. Okay. So this is. In this case, you don't need a hardware or wallet like I showed you earlier. This entire thing is stored and managed by the company. So you're trusting that company to hold your Bitcoin. It is just like a bank account. Okay. So I won't go through your decentralized exchanges and all that, but okay. I've covered where can I buy crypto. So Binance, Coinbase, WazirX and CoinDCX in India, Kraken, US exchange available in Pakistan. Well, when should I buy crypto, right? So that's the most important thing. So there are a lot of ways of getting into this. One, you can go buy, you can send money to these exchanges and buy it. Dollar cost average is what I would suggest. So don't go all in. If you are planning to put 2 lakh rupees into this, just put 10,000 rupees now and wait for a month and see where the market is. Put 10,000 again. Don't follow the pump. Sometimes Bitcoin and all this cryptocurrency just goes 100x, sorry, 1x, 2x overnight. Today it might be $10. Tomorrow morning it will be $21. Never follow those pumps because that $21 will come back to $10. So wait for the price to come to you. Okay. You can invest what you can afford to lose because there is still a 0.01% chance of Bitcoin going to zero. So you should always remember that. So risks, I will go through the risk quickly. There are regulations, a lot of regulations in play. US crypto tax regulation is coming into play. DeFi, decentralized finance regulation is coming into play. These are good things for crypto in the long term. Then the stable coins, there are issues with stable coins. Stable coins are coins that are pegged against the dollar. Then volatility, I showed you the volatility chart. It's quite volatile. There are a lot of scams. There are a lot of cyber attacks you need to be careful about. Pick the right exchange that you want to trade with. Don't just go and put in a lot. You will get a lot of emails, random emails from people saying, you can buy Bitcoin from me. Okay, so just don't go and click those emails and create an account. Just make sure you pick the right exchange and and all these exchanges have a proper KYC process. Okay, they have a proper KYC process. So go through that KYC process, create the account, and buy only through those exchanges. There is a chat about the crypto ban in India, which I want to talk about. There is a bill that is in discussion. India wanted to ban crypto as a blanket ban, but rumors are that it might end up classifying it as an asset and not as a currency, which is what Australia and US has already done it. Right, but there is still always a risk. Okay, so ways to earn free crypto. I think this one I want to probably touch upon. You can get into cryptocurrency world without even spending a dollar. Places like, you can create an account on Coinbase straight away. You can, there are training modules. You can earn up to $100 of cryptocurrency. Okay, you can get up to $100 of currency by this training. The second way of doing it is Brave browser. I don't know how many of you have heard of this browser called Brave. If you have not, please go and download it and install it. It is one of the safest and most secure browsers in the world. It is just like your Chrome, Internet Explorer, or your Firefox. You earn back token by just browsing. Okay, so I've been using this for the past 8 months. I have $60 worth of tokens by doing nothing. I'm doing my regular work using this browser. And it's the most secure browser as well. Okay, Brave browser. Playing NFT games, which I spoke of. Lastly, I've been talking to Oswin about this. Look, I was talking to my family about how to get into Bitcoin, right? And they were a little, I said, if you don't want to invest in Bitcoin, don't invest. But if you still want to get into it, then there is one way of doing it. Go buy yourself a gaming desktop. Okay, gaming desktop would cost you in India about $1 lakh rupees, here about $2,000. And if you have solar energy at home, that's even better. You just start mining at home. Mining doesn't need any technical experience. It's just a 3-4 step. And download this software, and just a couple of steps to configure it, and it runs at home. Right? You can print money at home. And if
Nikhil, you said a gaming computer, so obviously you're after CPU power, right? As opposed
not
to
CPU. CPU doesn't matter. CPU can be i5 processor, doesn't matter. GPU. So GPU is what matters. So you can buy a NVIDIA RTX or an AMD class, GPUs. You'll get
hard
it
to come by.
You get the computers these days. It's not that hard. If you want a desktop, you'll get it. We'll get it easily on Amazon. I am using I bought my Legion, Lenovo Legion for $2,000. So the point I'm trying to make here is, look, Bitcoin can go to zero, right? So that $2,000 that you have spent can become zero someday. But if you buy a computer and mine it, that $2,000, even if it goes zero, you know that you have a computer at home. Okay, you'll have that satisfaction that you bought something and there is something at home. Electricity, right? That's important thing, right? So you might be wondering, how much does it consume? So this one consumes, at least my computer consumes 100 watts of electricity. It is as good as running your television, 40-inch LED for 24 hours a day. So you figure how much it would consume electricity in your house. But the point is, the coolest part is you're printing money at home, right? And that's what that is one way of getting into Bitcoin. Right. So that's all I had. Before I close, I wanted you to watch this 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, 1 minute video of this guy who had published this video on YouTube when Bitcoin was $1. Okay, just $1. Watch this.
Buys $1 worth of Bitcoins. Just $1 freaking dollar. Because you're going to be thanking me for that $1. Just $1 of Bitcoins that you purchased. But the odds are most of you, 90% of you, are not going to buy even $1 worth of Bitcoins. For what reason? I have no idea. Anyways, if you take my advice, that's great. If not, that's the way it is.
Apparently, only 5 people took his advice. and bought thousands of Bitcoin, and they gave him 100 Bitcoin each as a gift. He's pretty popular on the YouTube, and he reckons Bitcoin will be $1 million in 2030. But I'm open to questions if you have anything. I know it was very quick. I had to rush through the last few minutes.
Quick question. What is the tax implication on profits made from Bitcoin?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
What is the tax
what
implications?
is the tax implications on profits made
tax
on
implications
Bitcoin?
in at least in Australian context, I can say, I don't know how it is in other countries. Australia and US, they look at Bitcoin as property. So you have your capital gain tax. Okay. So if you sell Bitcoin within a year, you got to pay tax for the profit, as well as you can book your losses.
What if the account is opened from somewhere other than Australia?
You won't be able to open an account other than Australia, because there is a strong KYC process for all these exchanges. So you have to give your passport details and your driver's license details and all of that. So there is no way you can open an account outside of Australia. There is something called as decentralized finance, where there is no KYC. But for money to travel to decentralized finance, the entry and exit point are through these exchanges, these centralized exchanges, where KYC is a must.
Okay, all right.
Hi, Nikhil, Bala here. So other than Bitcoin and ETH, have you bought any other altcoins?
Yeah, I've got a lot.
What is your take on it?
Yeah, I've got a lot of them. I've got this coin called Solana. I picked it up when it was $10. Right now, I think as of this morning, it is $94.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's considered to be an Ethereum killer. There's something called as ADA Cardano. I've got that coin as well, but I'm not too bullish on that. I don't like that project, but yeah. And then there is Polkadot. Polkadot is the other token, which is again a blockchain. So I invest only in blockchains because these apps, anybody can create the app. You can create your own app. You can copy a successful app and change the look and feel, and it's yours. So creating a blockchain is a little difficult. So I invest only in blockchain projects. So Polkadot, Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Cardano. So these are some of the coins that I'm heavily invested on. There are a lot of other experimental coins that I've bought, which I've done well. I bought some gaming coins because they are doing something that nobody has ever seen before. The gaming industry, mind you, is about a $40 billion industry. And this world is just touching the surface, just the surface. And once the entire thing moves on to this part of the world, right, then I think it's going to change the entire gaming industry. Okay.
Any specific gaming coins or any?
So I showed you that Axie Infinity. It's called AXS. Again, I picked it up at, I'm not boasting, but I picked it up when it was $20. Now it is trading at $80. So it's just you got to pick. You got to spend a lot of time in this. So that's what I was trying to say. It's not about timing the market. It's about spending time in the market if you're serious about it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And only then, I've got burnt. It's not that I've always had a dream run. I've lost money. I've traded. I've done day trading. I've done swing trading. I've lost money, and I've realized that emotionally it's a roller coaster ride. And if I'm not emotionally very strong, so trading is not for me. So I stopped it. I lost quite a lot of money, but then the amount of money that I've, at least on paper, is more than what I had lost. So which is okay. But then, these kind of things, you get in small amounts, burn your hands. Okay. Only then you learn. Otherwise you won't learn.
Yeah.
That's been my experience. So in the last 1 year, I've done so many experiments. I've burnt my hands, but I've realized how it should be done now. I've figured out how it should be done now. So I've made mistakes. Happy to share.
So how should it be done, Nikhil? You've got,
as I said,
3 minutes to explain yourself.
As I said, never time the market. day trading, never do I would never do day trading, because emotionally it's very hard for someone like me. When the price, if I have made a long position on a Bitcoin, and if it drops 20-30%, I am not able to sleep, and I had sleepless nights for like weeks together, and it was taking a toll on my health. So that's when I thought, boss, that's it. And I lost money as well, but that was it. After that, I said, no, I'm never going to touch it. So there are a lot of ways of making.
For a newcomer, novice, what do you recommend as an entry point? Like, how should someone get into this?
Yeah.
Let's say I've got say $10,000. I want to invest. What should I do?
Number one, most important question I have is, do you believe in it? Okay. Are you going in with full conviction? And it's absolutely all right not to trust this. Okay. It's absolutely fine. If you trust, if you think this is the future and this is where I want to put my money, then I would get in. If you want to send in $10,000, I would put say $1,000, say $500-$700 in Ethereum, $300 in Bitcoin, on a monthly basis, or set up $40 or $100 on a weekly basis. I put it that way, and I'll forget about it. You can do recurring buys as well. Okay, and I will never look at the app after I put that recurring buy, because it's volatile. It'll go down. It'll come up. It'll just test your patience. It'll make you go wild. Right. So yeah, look, I think starting is the important thing. A lot of 20-year-olds, 16-year-olds are getting into this. One thing I forgot to talk about, there's one coin called Polyguj. A 13-year-old Indian guy has started his own cryptocurrency. It's $2.3 million market cap right now. Right. So a lot of young kids are getting involved. I think this, in my view, this is the future, because this is a good entry. We've got fintechs challenging banks now. A lot of these things will move into fintech, and banks will remain, cease to exist in next 20 years if they don't change the way they are today. Fintechs will take over. I mean, that's a given. I'm sure everybody would have noticed. In India, there is Paytm. I don't know, in Pakistan, I'm sure something similar is there. PayPal is there. Square is there. Here, Afterpay is doing a lot of great things. Right? Yep. Any questions? Bala?
I was going to ask you a crazy one. Like, how can we start? Like, I think is it Nick or Josh asked this question earlier, like, and how do we start up a blockchain, can we do it? If you go on a similar team,
you can, but it needs a lot of effort and investment to start a blockchain. You can you can create your own coin. I was talking about one guy creating pump coin, but that's all scam, right? So, but then if there is an idea, you can create your own exchange, something called as decentralized exchange. There are so many finance apps that are there. If I touch decentralized exchange, it will just blow your mind. A completely new banking has, world, something that you've never seen in your life. If I spend 1 hour on it, you'll be like blown away the kind of things that are there in banking. NFT, you'll get completely blown away the kind of stuff that are there in NFT. Right. So a lot of opportunities. You can choose which opportunity would suit you and invest in that opportunity to start anything that you feel like. Right. A lot of companies in India, two brothers, 20-year-old brothers have started their own project called InstaDapps. It is $803 million market cap in a span of 1.5 years. Right. So you got to pick what you want to do. You got to understand the ecosystem well to start something.
Nikhil, listen, Matt, that was really good. We went for 1.5 hours, right?
Sorry.
And we could go for another 2 hours. But what I will do is, I think for a lot of us here, you've touched the surface on a few different things, right? Let people go away, and in a week or two, we will regroup. And then, people can sort of, based on what they've heard today, focus on specifics to say, tell me about NFT, tell me about, the mining that you do at home, right? You've got this desktop under your thing, which is working 24 hours. You bought it for $2,000. You already you call it printing money. You've already made a couple of $100. So effectively, that machine is paying for itself. And over time, you're generating your own crypto effectively. Yeah, and that will go up in time in value and all that stuff, right? So with a $2,000 investment, the sort of the sky is the limit, right? But that was very good, and thank you for spending time with us today.
One quick question, Oswin.
Yes.
How do you convert crypto into conventional money?
Good question, Nikhil.
Yeah, so you can do that in the centralized exchanges I was talking about. It's like your bank account. Okay, you can just you can create in Pakistan. There is it's a US company called Kraken. Kraken is an exchange. You create an account. Kraken. Yeah, you can create an account with Kraken, and you send your rupees to Kraken account, and then it's a switch off button. You can convert it into Bitcoin, and then you can switch it back to rupees and get it back to your account.
This will affect if I make profits, then I'll have to show it in my returns and all that.
Yeah.
This all.
Yeah,
okay.
It will.
Different game.
Yeah, but if you buy and leave it, it won't.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Steve Fernandez, we got to get on another call to Pakistan. So
Yep.
So did you get much out of this?
Oh, look, there's some good questions. It's a little bit like gold, right? It's not earning any income. It's just the value, and it's obviously very volatile. Probably not really my risk appetite, but you can't argue with the graphs at the moment. But I'm not so convinced of the 500,000 and $1 million projections. But you never know. We don't know the future of that. But it's interesting to learn. I'm interested to still go for the ride, and it may be worth a small little gamble as a part of my whole investment strategy. And I think that point about be prepared to possibly lose it is a good advice. And you don't put your house on this. It's very volatile and not for the faint-hearted. But a good bit of flutter and a good bit of entertainment. It could pull off as well.
Yeah, Josh. Last question from you, Josh. Nick.
I'll ask next session because I think I have a question, but I might ask you offline because it might require a longer response. So I'll send you an email or something.
That's all right. So you can look tomorrow morning. I'm minting an NFT. If anybody's interested to watch me mint, you can join. I've got 4 of my mates who have joined. As I said, I spent 3 hours with them this morning. So it's a lucky draw. It's a lottery ticket. So if anybody interested to see how the lottery ticket is drawn, you can take a look at it. So it may work, it may not work, but it's a lottery ticket. It's $100, $200 lottery ticket. So so I'm doing it tomorrow morning. If you're interested, I can share the Zoom details. It'll be 1 hour, maybe half an hour.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Nikhil, I am keen, man. Flick it to me, please.
I'll send it to Oswin. I don't have your number. I'm creating the Zoom ID. It's 7:45, right? So 8 o'clock is this particular project is going live at 8 o'clock, and it will be sold out in 3 minutes. So it's fastest finger first. So
let's do it. Let's learn this.
Yeah, Bala, you've got lots of time, mate. You're in Brisbane, so it's a good life, man. Good life. Get a haircut, man. Get a haircut.
You're jealous, aren't you?
Hey, you remember Josh, Bala? You remember Josh? That's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Good questions, Josh. I'm pretty impressed.
All right, guys, stay tuned.
Thanks,
We'll do this again in about 2 weeks. All right.
Thanks.
Maybe
Thanks,
Nikhil.
Thanks, Nikhil.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Nikhil.
Oswin.
Thank you, Ozzy.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thanks, Ozzy.
See ya.
Thanks, Ozzy.
See ya.